Well, welcome back. Tip of the Tongue Business Series. We're here again. Today I'm chatting to Michele Barry from Frontis Consulting, talking all things change management, culture, and how and what and where do we start now? I think a lot of people, Michele, I know we often talk about this, we're both passionate about getting this right for businesses, is what are the things that they need to be thinking about now? You know, real change takes probably 3 to 5 years, but I think that's why people put it off. Yeah. But I think it's about helping people understand that those incremental changes, those small changes, but being consistent is how we get to where we want to be. So I'd love to get your thoughts on that, because I know it's a big passion for you too.
Look, I'm really passionate about change, and the reason why I am so passionate is that I think people run too fast without thinking about how to bring your people along with you. And especially in small business, you are as strong as your team, and looking after your team and making sure that they're ready for change is so important.
Yes, I think that's the thing, isn't it? And it's about involving everybody. There's a really great opportunity right now to become very cohesive, very much looking at co-design and getting the real value that people bring into a business and actually making the best understanding of what that is to deliver what your future workplace is going to look like.
And COVID has given us that chance. I speak to lots of small businesses who are thinking about the reboot. Can you imagine if you had the chance to relaunch your business again? Well, for some businesses, this is actually true. This is a chance to re-engage with team members you might have lost track of over the time, or really form new relationships or change habits that have been part of your culture. So I think before you even embark on the next implementation of change, you need to think about your team and get back to basics and build the core that you need to support you as you move forward.
Yeah, I think that's really important, isn't it? What sort of top tips are you giving businesses at the moment to actually build that engagement? I think a lot of businesses that I've spoken to, they just don't know where to start.
Look, getting started is the hardest part, but being yourself and understanding your business, knowing your team and knowing why you've got those people on board is really important. I know lots of businesses have gone the easy route and just got everyone back in the office, but that really does take time, and it might be worth reaching out and spending some time staging that back in, having lots of teas and coffees, building relationships and understanding what's driving your people. We've all been away from each other for a year in some form or another, and it's time to really check in and see what's important. For example, I know lots of people are wanting to spend more time with family. Other people are looking to invest in their study or their further development. So it's about really connecting and understanding where you align and where things might need to be supported as you move forward.
Yeah, I think it's so important, isn't it? You know, for everybody last year, not a single person went unaffected. So there's a massive amount that's changed for people in their consideration for returning to work. What does that look like for me now? How do I feel able to commit? Yeah. And how do I show up as me when I have people have a very different understanding of me and who I am now? It's about how do I get back to being just me in the workplace? I know previously we've talked about the changing of that shared journey through last year. And I think one of the points that you made was that, you know, we all have a very different picture of each other now. We know a lot more about each other than we previously presented in the workplace. Yeah. So if you were a leader now, how would you advise that they actually begin that conversation with somebody?
Well, I start with a pen and paper, and I map who's in my team. And what do I know about them, and where are the gaps of information? And I'm talking skill level, personal level, what's motivating my team, and where are they? And how does this align with our strategy? So what's the place we want to play in? What's our capabilities? What are the drivers? And where are we at? So I think taking stock before you embark in the conversations is really important. And then, you know, the conversations will help you fill in the gaps. You know, Sean, for example, she's really learnt how to present better in public. She's had so many Zoom meetings. She's a star at that. So I'm going to use her a little bit more. Or someone else, Jonathan, he might be really great at something else. Or Michele, she used to like doing this, but now she's really focusing in this area. How's that going to fit in your team? And I've always found motivating people to align with their own aspirations is so important. And then where there are gaps, what are you going to do about them? Have the conversation. So, for example, if someone really wasn't strong enough in something you needed, sit down with them and understand why. Is it a capability thing or a misalignment? And what can you do about it? And I think you'll find the conversations you were afraid of a year ago will be easier than you think. In fact, I've never had a tough conversation with anyone or encouraged other people to have a conversation with someone where it hasn't been much easier than they thought. And in fact, no one's ever been surprised at what's on the table. I'm yet to hear someone who's been challenged about a certain situation that has really been surprised.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I love what you say about take stock. I know, before we go shopping, we all look at what's in the cupboard to see what's missing and we make a list. But in our businesses, as soon as we feel there's a skill gap, we go immediately outside and look to recruit somebody new in without necessarily understanding of what skills do we have in the business itself.
Yeah.
And how can we actually develop those? And I think people just immediately assume that others need additional training, but it actually doesn't have to be that way. If we encourage cross-pollination of job understanding, if we encourage internal collaboration instead of setting everybody up in competition with each other, and you have a magnificent opportunity right now, as you say, to re-look at that situation. Yes, give people a new JD maybe. Does it still match the jobs that you require to move the business forward? And obviously KPIs, but I think the biggest one that I see people often forget is that opportunity for that personal development plan. To build that opportunity for people to really get engaged in, this is where I'm heading, and then you can match that to the strategic needs of the business. So if you're nervous about having that conversation, then use that as a business tool. That PDP is that opportunity to have that two-way communication. You say what's going on for you, your employee says what's going on for them, and you look at any gaps in expectation, but you look at obviously the commonalities as well. And from there you build a plan so that everybody's engaged in what's happening with the business moving forward.
Absolutely. And I think I'm always a big fan of what I call stoic compassion. Be really strong in what you need, but be really kind. You didn't go into business to be your monster, or hope not. And it's really time for you to bring your whole self. And I think we've learnt the courage to do that more through Zoom. And I reflect on this last year, and so many wonderful things have come from a relationship perspective. Of course, there's been so many challenges, but we've all got to know each other a bit more. We know where we come from, and we all see each other's lounge rooms, and we know what can be part of the story as we go forward. We're all building a story. Bottom lines are so important, so let's never lose track of that. But the people are your biggest assets, and your team and your people are who you create and how you lead them. You control the culture, and it's really up to you to step forward in a different way.
Yeah, I love that. I know a lot of businesses are revisiting things like their code of conducts, their client charters, their staff charters. I think it's a really great opportunity to have people be creative as well around what the business place is going to look like moving forward, and how does that co-design happen?
Yeah, I was just about to say authentic co-design too. Sadly, the word co-design is flipped out everywhere. And for some people, co-design means I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do and spend a lot of time convincing you that I've got a good idea. That's not co-design. Co-design is having the courage to problem solve together. Here's what we've got. We're ready for this, and we're ready to take the bold step into trusting what we will create together. And in my experience, the best co-design is scary. If it's not a little bit frightening, you're not pushing it far enough, and you'll be amazed at what can be co-created. Can you imagine if you empowered all of your floor staff to problem solve the things that they deal with every day? They will take barriers out of your way that you never knew existed. So I encourage everyone to have the courage to co-design, maybe not big and bold to get started, but it could be renovating part of your building, or being part of the rebranding suite, or the colour codes. So there's a whole lot of ways that you can incorporate and build trust, because remember, whatever you build today in a foundation will help you in your next project.
Yeah, I love that, Michelle. I think that's really going to help people get started in the next stage of how are they going to strategically build the business to the next level that they want to take it to. Michelle, thank you so much for your time today. I know you're really busy helping businesses and your expertise is tenfold. I love chatting with you. So thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity, Sian.
We'll speak again soon.
Thank you.